Hi everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing hips and hammies, so if you have tight legs and tight hips like I do, then this practice is for you. You can grab a block or a strap, might be useful for this practice, or if you don't have any of those, you can always grab a towel, and I will show you what to do with that later on. And if you're ready, I will meet you on your mat. So today we're going to start out on our backs. So make sure you have plenty of space. Keep the crown of the head long. Tuck in the chin just a little bit so that our neck isn't cranked. And then take your legs out long in front of you. If you need some time to ground and center yourself, go ahead and pause the video, and you can do that now by placing your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly, and just tune in with your breath. If you're feeling pretty good and you're ready to go, then we will go ahead and get started. So we'll start by bringing our left knee into our chest. You can interlace your fingers right underneath the knee. Again, keeping the neck nice and long. Start to draw that left knee into your chest. We want to press the right calf into the mat, so active through the right leg as well. Using the strength of your arms, just pull that left knee in. See, this is already feeling super tight for me today, and this is just something that sometimes I can do no problem. So everybody's going to feel differently with these. Start to draw that left knee a little bit closer to the left armpit. So really opening up that left leg out to the side. You can take your right hand to your right thigh and gently press down to keep that hip rooted. Breathe in. And exhale. Take your right hand to the left knee and then draw that right leg across to the left leg across to the right side, just for a brief supine twist. Breathe in. And on the exhale, bring it back to center. We're going to bring our nose to tap our knee. If it doesn't get there, that's okay. Still active in the right leg. And then on the exhale, lower this left leg all the way to the mat. Shake out your hips if you need to, and we'll take it to the other side. Right knee into the chest. You can flex both of the feet. That helps you to stay active in both sides. Press down into that left calf, and then draw that right knee into your chest. Check in with the back of the neck. Make sure it's nice and long. Squeeze it in. Exhale. And then draw that right knee. Open up the hip. Draw the right knee towards the right armpit. That left hand can press down on the left thigh or the left hip bone just to keep it nice and open. And then take the left hand to the right knee and bring it all the way across to the left. If this is really intense, you don't have to go very far, or you can also place a block underneath this knee, but we won't be here long. Breathe in. And then bring it back to center. Tap the nose to the knee, squeeze it in tight, and then start to lower the right leg to the mat. Bring both knees into the chest. Tap the nose towards the knees, flex through the feet, get into a tiny little ball, and then rock the length of your spine. So back and forth a few times, doesn't matter how many. We'll meet in a tabletop. So I always start with a cat-cow, even if it's not necessarily crucial to the flow, it just feels really good. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. You can tuck the toes, breathe in. On the exhale, round through the spine, round through the shoulders, untuck the toes, press everything away. One more time. Inhale, belly down, heart lifts. Create some space between the chin and chest, and then exhale, press away. Find a neutral table, and then check in with the alignment. We're going to step this left foot back, plant the ball of the left foot, and press back into that left heel. So this is going to be a nice deep calf stretch. You can rock in and out if this is really intense. You can even come to your forearms if you want to give your hands and wrists a break. Your choice. Stay pressing back. Breathe in. And then slowly come out of this just by rocking your hips forward. And then we're going to step this left foot all the way across to the right, as far as it's gonna go. Press back into that left hip. I'm gonna come back to my hands here. You should feel some opening in this left side. Breathe in. And then bring it back to center. You can keep it lifted. We're gonna kickstand this right leg to the side and then open up this left leg. Open up the hip as well as we pull this left arm open. Option to bind here by grabbing the left foot or the left ankle and then kick into that left leg to open up the front body. Draw that belly button up and in. Breathe in. On the exhale, release to table. Take a cat-cow, neutralize the spine. Breathe in. Exhale. And then we'll take it to the other side. Neutral table, step that right foot back, plant the ball of the right foot, press back into the right heel. Calf stretch. Again, you can rock in and out if this is really intense, or you can stay, I'm going to scoot forward. You can stay pressing back to really activate the back. And you want to keep that right knee lifted. That'll help intensify this. You can always come to the forearms, but actively press through the fingertips to keep the weight and the pressure off of the wrist joints. Breathe in, come on out of this, and then we'll step the right foot across to the left side, plant the ball of the right foot, and then press back into that right hip, almost as if you could touch left shoulder to the left hip. We're really crunching this left side, opening the right side. This one always feels awkward, especially if you're not used to doing it, but the more you do it and you feel it in the body, the more it makes sense. Breathe in. Woo, slowly release. Neutral table. Check in with your alignment. Take a cat-cow, neutralize the spine. And then, whoops, we almost missed one. Kick that right leg up and behind you. Pull the right hip open. Kickstand the left foot. Peel the right arm high. You can have the toes tucked or untucked here. Yogi's choice. Take the bind if you would like. Kick into that right hand. Feel the front body open up. Breathe in. And then slowly release. Neutral table. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, press it all the way. Tuck the toes. Start to lift the hips and then send the hips up and back. Down dog. Pedal this one out. Slowly shift weight from left to right. And again, I say slowly. I know a lot of times in class people are just going so fast, but really we want to take it slow so that whatever needs to crack and pop can crack and pop, and you can really feel into the back of the legs. We'll start to find stillness, so plant both of the feet. Even if the heels don't get close to the mat, that's okay. Just actively press them towards the mat and press your belly towards your thighs. You can have a soft bend in the knees here. There's no reason to have them fully extended, but if it does feel good to have them fully extended, then do that. We're going to take this left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. So this is a figure 4 down dog. Opening that left hip, pressing the left knee to the back of the room, pressing the chest towards the thighs. You can shorten your stance here. Bring the feet, hands in a little bit closer to the feet if that feels okay. Breathe in. And on the exhale, start to kick this left leg up and high. 3-legged dog. Breathe in. On the exhale, plant it between the hands. Runner's lunge. You can come to the fingertips here as you lift through the chest. And on the exhale, drop the right knee. Untuck the toes. Good. Let that right hip point become really heavy towards the mat. Sink into the hips. If you are not taking up very much space on your mat, I encourage you to step that left foot heel forward so that it is either in line or slightly in front of the left knee, and then wiggle the right knee back. So take up space. Breathe in. On the exhale, start to shift the hips and the hands back and draw the left toes towards your nose. Half split. Exhale, release a little deeper into this half split, and then we'll walk the hands forward, back into that nice deep lunge. Breathe here. On the exhale, shift it back. One more time. Inhale it forward. Exhale, shift it back. On the inhale, try to find length through the crown of the head. So as you can see, I even catch myself kind of rounding or hunching, all kinds of stuff. So we'll just recheck in, reach forward with the crown of the head, find length, and then pull that left hip crease back. I don't know if you can see that minor adjustment. You can even take your hands to your hips to keep them in line, and then reach your chest towards the knee or towards the toes to try to find length. Again, if this is your first time, this might be a little intense. Breathe in. Exhale, start to walk the hands to frame this left foot. You can be on the finger pads or back to flat hands. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, three-legged dog. Left leg comes up and high. Lifting that left leg from the inner thigh. Keep the hips squared. Breathe in. Now start to open up this left hip on the exhale. So usually we bend the knee, stack the hip, but first I want you just to roll it open so you can feel the difference. Strong in both hands, chest is dialed down, just the hip opens, and then we bend the knee and draw that heel closer to our bottom. Breathe in. Stay for the exhale. Really open up that hip. See if you can't find those left toes underneath the right arm. Just look for them. And then we'll exhale, plant the left foot in between the hands, building from the ground up, which means get your balance first. And then we rise, crescent lunge. So we're on the ball of the right foot, nice deep lunge. Yep, there we go, clicking and popping. Breathe in here. And then take the hands to the low back, fingers pointing down, elbows draw together behind the back as you press those hips forward. And it's almost like a scoop. So less of a back bend, more of a hip thrust forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. This should open up the right hip flexor. I don't want to tell you what to feel in your body, but maybe if you send your attention to what we're trying to open up, it might help. Start to release the hands all the way up. On the exhale, start to straighten into that left leg and then reach with the chest forward. Go about halfway. You can stay up on the ball of the right foot, find length, and then exhale, let the hands come all the way to the mat. We're going into a modified pyramid. So we want to shift the hips to put them back into a neutral position. Pull that left hip crease back, right hip comes forward. Staying on the ball of the right foot, and then reach the chest towards the toes. Woo. You can take your hands a little bit wider here for a little bit more stability. A little deeper. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then we're going to turn to the long edge of your mat. So turn all your toes to face the right. I'm actually going to flip around so we're not staring at my butt the whole time. Okay, so you should be in a wide-legged stance here with hands underneath the shoulders. Take the feet a little bit out, the heels a little bit in, but not too much. And then put your hands on the hips and start to rise. Good, wide-legged stance. Now bend into the knees and you can bring the heels in, toes out. Just be kind to your knees. So whatever way your knee is going, your toes should be going that way as well. Sink the hips and then take the hands to the thighs. We're just going to kind of rock side to side here for a moment. It's okay if the shoulders are sneaking up to the ears. Let yourself sink into this. And then once you've kind of warmed up going side to side, I want you to see if you can't sink a little lower. Breathe in. Exhale, slowly start to rise. And then we're going to do the opposite by kicking the heels out and turning the heels in. And you can widen your stance here. Take your hands to your hips, puff up the chest, and then lead with your chest into a forward fold. Once you've got as far as you're going to go, then let your hands come to the mat or to the outside of the legs and draw yourself a little bit deeper into this forward fold. See if you can't roll the weight forward, opening the thigh bones outwards, rolling the hips towards the ceiling. maybe even shifting the weight to the balls of the feet. Really open up those hips. You can find rest here on your forearms, or you can have a block underneath your hands if the ground seems a little extra far away. Yogi's choice. We'll take a half lift, so take the hands right underneath the shoulders. And then one more time, exhale a little deeper. Good. Start to find a half lift. And then I'm going to turn back around the way you are, so that way I don't get my lefts and rights mixed up. All right, then frame. Walk your hands around to frame this left foot, so you'll be back into that nice deep lunge. Drop the right knee. Kick it back, half split. Now we're going to take the hands and see if we can't walk them off to the left just a little. Whoo! Pull that left hip crease back. Exhale, find length, get a little deeper. And then walk the hands back to frame that left foot. Pick up the right knee. Step the left foot up and back, three-legged down dog. Bend the knee, stack the hip, and then let it land. Down dog, pedal it out. Shifting weight from left to right. We're going to take this all to the other side, okay? So cross that right ankle over the left thigh and then press back. And again, this can be a little bit shorter of a dog. Keep the right foot flexed. Breathe in, breathe out. On the inhale, kick that right leg high. Bend the knee. Nope, don't bend the knee. Just open the hip here. So peel that right hip open. Keep the leg extended. Chest dialed down towards the mat. Once you feel that right hip is open, then bend the knee. Stack the hip. Maybe look for those right toes underneath that left armpit. Really opening that right hip to the left side of the room. And then on the exhale, plant it between the hands. Drop the left knee and tuck the toes. So right away, I want you to be aware of how much space you're taking up on this mat. This is a nice deep lunge, a nice hip opener. So bring the right heel a little bit in front of or in line with the right knee. And then we're going to shift it back to that half split. Exhale. Inhale brings it forward. Exhale, half split. Inhale comes forward. Exhale, half split. We'll stay here this time, but on the inhale, find length, reach the crown of the head forward. And then on the exhale, release your chest over that right thigh. Pull the right hip crease back, left hip forward to stabilize and neutralize the hips here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Start to walk the hands forward to frame that right foot. Tuck the left toes, pick up the left knee. Send that right leg up and back. Bend the knee, stack the hip. And then plant the right foot in between the hands. Building from the ground up, we'll find that crescent lunge. So a nice deep lunge. Wiggle those left toes back if you need to. Wiggle the right heel forward if you need to. There's no shame in adjusting, so where you're stable. Take your hands to your low back and then start to press the hips forward, scooping that tailbone under, letting that left hip get heavy towards the mat. Right hip is pulling back. Breathe in. Draw those shoulders and elbows together behind your back. If it feels okay to lift your gaze, you can do so. And on the exhale, slowly start to straighten into that right leg. Take the arms up and then lead with your chest into a fold over the right leg. Find length and then come all the way down to a modified pyramid. So stay onto the ball of the left foot, drawing that right hip back, and then take your hands either underneath the shoulders or a little bit wider for more stability. Your choice. Don't lose your breath. Find a half lift, so walk the hands underneath the shoulders. You can be on the finger pads at any point, but that gives you a little bit more of a lift. And then release one more time over that right leg. Breathe in. We'll start to bend into this right knee. Walk the hands to the long edge of the mat. Turn all the toes to face the left side of the room. Yep, there we go. And then take your hands to your hips. Soft bend in the knees as you stand up. That just gives us a little extra support. Okay, breathe in. Take the hands to the low back here, and we're going to do that where we press the hips forward. This can be a little intense, so you don't have to go very far. In fact, my hips are already cramping up. Apparently, I need some more water. Press the hips forward. Exhale. Extend through the back. And then on the exhale, stand up straight. Take your hands to your hips. Soft bend into both knees. You can go side to side. And then we'll take our hands to the thighs. This time we're going to let that left shoulder drop in, twist it out. Press that left knee away. Exhale to the other side. This feels really good to me. Feels really good to me. Start to come on out of this. Sink those hips a little deeper. You're probably not going to like me for this one, but it's really good, okay? So with the knees bent, start to shift the weight forward. It's okay if you come off your mat, and if you need to adjust so that the knees come to the mat, you can. This one's going to be pretty intense, but it's so good for your low back. It's so good for the hips. Okay, so we're coming into like a frog. If you're thinking absolutely not, you can hit the little fast forward button. I'll only be here for a few breaths. So you'll want to flex through the feet to keep the knees happy. And then we're just kind of in this little frog leg. You can come to the forearms. You can even come to a block. And just rocking back and forth. And when I say you're not going to like me, you might not like me right now, but the more you do it, you will like me a little bit more, I promise. Okay, start to press into the hands, tuck the toes, then lift. Put your feet back in a normal position to stand. It doesn't have to be fancy, just get to where you're comfortable with your balance. Take your hands to your hips and slowly come to a standing. Good, breathe in. Exhale. And then we'll find that wide-legged forward fold one more time. We're not going into our frog pose, so don't worry. Kick the heels out, turn the toes in. Let the hands come underneath the shoulders. And once you get to a comfortable spot, then let the hands walk either behind you or to the outside of the legs as you pull yourself a little deeper into this pose. Widen the sit bones. See if the thighs can roll outwards. The inner thighs roll in. And then you shift the weight to the balls of the feet. Open up. If you have a tripod headstand that you want to throw in here, your practice, not mine, right? So just do whatever feels right. Start to find a half lift. And then we'll walk the hands to frame this right foot as we point all the toes to the short edge of the mat. Good. Send that right leg up and back. Bend the knees, stack the hip, and then let it land. Okay, pedal this out. We'll straight-legged walk to the top of your mat. And I just say straight-legged. Obviously, I just bent my knees, so just do whatever feels right with your body. That helps keep the hips lifted and keep the chest drawing towards the thighs. We're going to hang in a forward fold. Again, we're rolling, spiraling the inner thighs inwards, the outer thighs outwards, lifting those hips, reaching the chest towards the thighs, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Sometimes when we're hanging upside down, they like to sneak up, and that's okay. Let the head and neck hang heavy. Okay, take the hands under the shoulders, soft bend in the knees. We're going to take our feet about mats width distance. I have one of those little extra wide mats, so mine are going to stay on the inside of my mat, but yours could probably be about mats width distance. Turn the toes out, heels in, and then slowly lower the hips. If you need to wiggle to get down there, do so. We're heading to a malasana or a yogi squat. You can take a pillow, a towel, or a block and place it underneath your hips, okay? So we're here for a moment. I'm going to turn so you can see. Again, toes out, heels in. Take whatever wiggles you need to take to get into here, and then take your elbows to press the knees away, hands at heart center. Deep belly breaths. Reaching the chest up, trying to get the tail and the pelvis right underneath us. Tail. You might have a tail, who knows? I don't. No, we won't go there. I don't have a tail. I meant to say tailbone, obviously. Just breathe. One more breath. Release your hands. You can use some strength in the hands to lift the hips. Put your knees on straight. Turn your toes straight. You're in a nice neutral position. Let me flip this over. Don't forget anything. Okay. Now walk the feet back to down dog. See how this one feels. Just check in with the legs. Hopefully they're starting to feel a little warmer, a little more open. We're going to head into our little bit deeper stretches / cool down. Okay. Inhale, left leg high. On the exhale, plant it on the outside of the left hand. We're heading into a lizard lunge. So again, adjust your stance however you need to. The left foot is on the outside of the left and the right hand, and then we'll come down to the right knee and untuck the toes. You can stay here. You can also come to a block if that gives you a little bit more space. You can also take this left hand to the left thigh and press that left leg away. You want your toes and your knee going the same direction to help protect the knee joint. But drop those hips nice and deep. Let that right hip bone get heavy. If you want to come to your forearms, that option is there as well. We're just here for a few breaths. Okay, I've got maybe one more stretch that you're either going to hate me for or love me for. So come up to your hands. We're going to scoot this left foot in just a little bit. And then we're going to rock to our right side and drop that right hip down. Left arm can come back to give yourself a little bit more space, but we're also then going to roll as much as we can to the left to come almost into the skater or skandasana situation, okay? So come back. See if we can't keep both feet on the mat. To the right. Woo! Take it to the left. Just go with your breath. This is a newer hip opening stretch to me as well, so I'm not super fluid in it just yet, but just listen to your body. If you feel pain, back off. We'll take one more on each side, so take it to the left. Take it to the right. And then we'll come back to that lizard lunge, okay? So bring that left foot back where it was. Come to your hands if you're on your forearms for any reason still. And then we're going to walk this left foot all the way across to the right side and drop the left knee. This can be a lot, so keep the left foot flexed. And then bring that left heel closer to that right hip if that feels better. So once you have this leg position, you want to check in with the weight on the right and the left. If you're leaning heavily on the left, see if you can't activate through the center and push weight towards the middle. You want it to stay nice and even. I'll give you a modification if this is just absolutely not happening. So stay tuned. If you're here, we're going to find a little bit of a back bend. So walk the hands backwards, okay? Lift through the chest. And then on the exhale, you'll lead with that chest forward. into a forward fold. You can fold as little or as much as you want and find rest. You stay here. If, like I said, I'm going to offer a modification. So if all of this is not speaking to you, we're going to come to your back and then just cross that left ankle over the right thigh and then draw that right leg in any amount. Okay, so just like a Lang figure 4. You can have the fingers over the shin or under the shin. Just draw that left knee in and that right knee in any amount. You can use your hand to press the left knee away, but keep that left foot flexed to protect the knee. Same with the right, okay? You stay there if that's what feels best to your body. But for those of you that are folding over, to take this a little bit deeper, come to the hands. Again, make sure the weight is evenly distributed. We're going to press into the left hand as we reach this right arm up and back. And then draw the right foot into the body. Using the leg muscles, draw that right heel in. And then when it's there, if you want to grab a hold of it with your hand, you can link it with your arm. Bring it in. I'm going to keep going. So if this is enough, you can stop here. I want to make sure everybody has options. You can also, without losing the integrity of your balance in the center, take that left arm up and over, interlace your fingers, take a little mermaid. If you have a bind, slowly release that right foot. If you are on your back, make your way back to a down dog. Start to get out of this pose by tucking the toes, pick up the right knee, step the left foot back to meet the right, and pedal it out. You can recenter yourself on your mat, adjust wherever you need to adjust. There are no rules. Breathe in, breathe out. We'll take it all to the other side, okay? So root into that left leg, kick that right foot up and back, bend the knee, stack the hip, open up, and then step that right foot on the outside of the right hand. I like to shimmy my foot back, drop the left knee, untuck the toes. Again, check in with the knee and toe alignment. So you want your toes and your knee go in the same direction. You don't want to force the toes forward. Let them go out to the side if that's what feels right. And then you also want to keep this knee to ankle alignment, okay? Let that left hip get heavy. Whew. And then if you'd like to come to your forearms, come to your forearms. We'll be here for a few breaths. If any of these stretches feel extra needed, you can always hit pause and stay here a little bit longer. Breathe into that resistance. So that left hip flexor for me and the outside right is where I'm feeling it. So I'm just going to send my breath there. Okay, and then we're going to do those little rolls from right to left. So start to press into the hands. I'm going to scoot this right foot in just a little bit. And then start shifting the weight over to the left. And then to the right. Woo! Yep, you hear the pops. So a little skater skandasana action here. And then towards the front, to the left. To the right. This is really intense. So you can choose to keep this out of your practice if you'd like. Couple more times to roll it to the right. To the left. One more time each side. To the right. I gotta be honest, it's driving me crazy that I didn't lent roll before I started this. To the left. If you know me personally, you know that lent really just distracts me. Okay. We're coming back to this lizard lunge. So drop the knee, untuck the toes, and then we'll step or heel toe this right foot all the way across to the left. Drop the right knee, and then draw that right heel closer to the left hip point if that feels better for you. Keep the right foot flexed. I know there are some yogis that can keep their leg parallel, and I'm not one of them. All right. So if you're feeling good here, we'll find that back bend. Start to walk the hands back, lifting through the chest. And on the exhale, lead with your chest into a fold. If this is a lot for you, and no, it's okay if one side worked and one side didn't. You can take this on your back like I previously showed you. We're going to find a fold. You can keep a slight flex in that right foot. That's going to help protect the right knee. And then try to keep the weight even so that left hip point is still pressing into the mat, or towards the mat at least. If you'd like to take this a little deeper, we'll go ahead and take this time to come on up to our hands. Press into that right hand, take the left arm up and back, and then using the leg muscles and the glute muscles, kick that left heel in, and then grab a hold of it. You can take that arm bind, you can hook it, you can use your hand, whatever you need. You'll support the low back by keeping the belly button up and in, so keep that core tight. And pressing into the outer right of the leg. Right leg, there we go. The outer side of the right leg will help you keep your balance. If you've got your grip, slowly let that left foot land, tuck the toes, start to press into the hands, lift the knee, and step the right foot back to meet the left. Pedal this one out. And then we'll find stillness in this down dog. Once again, pressing the heels towards the mat. Even if they don't get anywhere near, that's okay. And then press your belly towards your thighs. If you're feeling really good, start to draw all 10 toes up. Exhale. And then we'll walk our way forward to a seat. Keep the hips lifted. Okay. I'm going to actually make your way to your back. So you can do that in a more graceful way if you'd like. You can even use your core and lower slowly. Or you can just plop back like I did. All right, we're going to extend the right leg just like we started out. Press the right calf into the mat. Draw that left knee into the chest. Squeeze it in tight. Just notice if this feels any different than when you started. And then we're going to grab the outside of the left foot and come into a half happy baby. So draw that left knee to the outside of the body here. Draw the thigh bone towards the mat, flex through the left foot, and then that right hand can either come to the top of the right thigh, it can be on the mat, whatever feels right. Okay, we'll start to bring that left knee back into the chest. Take the right hand, and we'll take that supine twist. Take the left knee all the way across to the right. Let the left arm fall out to the side, and you can let your gaze go out to the left as well. I have messed up too many times for this to be okay. Just go with the flow. It's all good. I'm human. I'm gonna mess up. Get my lefts and rights mixed up when we're all twisted and contorted like this, and that's okay. Start to bring the left knee into the chest. Squeeze it in tight. And then kick the left heel towards the ceiling, and I want you to interlace your fingers either under the thigh or behind the calf. Or this is where if you have a towel or a strap, you can either hook the towel underneath the foot or behind the leg, or use your strap to hook the foot. We're gonna just pull this left leg in. Woo! And I don't know about you, but my muscles are shaking a little bit, which means they're doing their job. Really opening up. You might even want to angle, like if this is super easy for you, if you are one of those really flexible gals or guys, and you're just, toes to the nose, maybe start angling the toes towards the right shoulder and pulling it a little bit across to the right side. Start to bend into that left knee. Squeeze it tight, and then just switch out the legs. Send the left leg long, neutralize the hips, and then bring the right knee in. Pull that knee in tight. Breathe. And then we'll grab the outside of the right foot. Draw that right knee. Right thigh bone down. Kicking through the right heel and actively pulling it down at the same time. So active through the foot, active through the leg. Left hand can be on the left hip or the left thigh. And then start to bend into that right knee. Bring it back to the chest. And then use your left arm to guide the right knee all the way across to the left. Right arm can extend out to the side. And you can let your gaze fall to the right as well. Start to slowly bring it back to center. If you have your strap, you can grab it now, or your towel, whatever you've got. Start to kick the right heel up towards the ceiling, and then interlace your fingers behind that leg, or use your strap to pull that right leg in. Keep the foot flexed. Draw those toes towards you. It's a lot. My body's like, hello. And if you're one of those people that are super locked up in the legs and in the hips, I feel ya. I feel ya. I do these a lot, and I'm still very tight in the legs and the hips. They just take a little extra love. Start to bend into that right leg. Squeeze it in tight, and then send it long. Sounds like Minnie, my dog, might be joining us for the remainder of our practice. Okay. We're heading into our final resting pose. Hi, Minnie. So if you want to take a happy baby, Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclined butterfly, anything that feels right to you, you can do that. If you are ready to finish up your practice, head into your final resting pose. Whatever feels right to you. It doesn't have to be Shavasana. It doesn't have to be like this. Whatever you can get into that will allow you to be comfortable, to be still. Our hips and our legs are very emotional. We store a lot of our emotions and traumas and memories in our hips and our legs. So sometimes it takes a lot of work to open them up. More so than just a physical practice. We have to be able to address what we've stored in our legs and in our hips and release it. You can come back to this practice anytime you feel tight in the legs. And just get back to your breath. Check with the body, see if you're holding on to any tension anywhere. And you can go ahead and end this video now. I invite you to stay there a little bit longer, let their legs come to a final rest. If not, sit up nice and tall, aligning your head over your heart, over your pelvis, everything. One beautiful line. Inhale the arms up. Watch the fingers as they touch. Keep some space between the palms and let the heel of the hands come together as you bring your thumb knuckles to your breastbone, which is pressing slightly forward. It was my honor to be your guide. Go in peace, love, and light. Namaste.